Hey, this is Jorge André Cardoso from MakeMeClear, and I got an exciting new feature on MakeMeClear for the beginning of this year. Many users have asked us, and we have implemented it, so the possibility to create your own treatments and its descriptions and explanations. So, how does it work? Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to use a treatment that you call aesthetic composite restoration. So this is a treatment you use often, and you want a patient to understand it is a more differentiated treatment than a simple dental restoration, because you can eventually do a wax-up before, you use a layering technique, you spend a couple of hours polishing, etc. So now you can come here in this area and click Custom Treatments, and you can now edit. So you need to choose what type of treatment. This is important because if you say it is a restoration, then once you use it, it will have the same drop-down options as a restoration, and that will allow you to choose the surfaces. So you enter the title, Aesthetic Composite Restoration, and now you enter your description. For example, this is the text I chose to appear as an explanation whenever I use this item plan in the future. So for example, here I wrote restorations are used to replace damaged parts of teeth like caries, fractures, wear, and sometimes to improve aesthetics. And aesthetic composite restoration is a special type of restoration where we want to do the best possible to make it look natural and in agreement with the patient's goals. To do so, we often do a previous study, a wax-up, and we use a layering technique that can demand a longer appointment and sometimes additional appointments for polishing and minor improvements. So this is basically the text that I want the patient to see and to understand why this is a different restoration, and of course it will be more expensive for the patient. We copy and we paste this description from our notes into the description area. We set the price if we want, or we can just leave it blank if you want to fill it later on in the plan itself. We save it. Now let's take a look on how we can use the item plan we have just created in a real treatment plan. Now I will just go directly to plan. I'm going to skip the diagnosis, but in this case I could have diagnosed, for example, some old, poor looking with infiltrations, but some old, poor looking composite restorations. I could have diagnosed that, but I'm going to skip that part. And I'll just go directly to the plan and then go to the tab Other, and guess what? Here it is. Here it is, the item we have just created. Now we select it, we select the teeth, we select the surfaces because we have chosen this new item as a type of restoration, and now we edit and done. Now let's take a look on how it looks on the report. And here it is with its explanation. This feature basically means your possibilities of customizing treatments with MakeMeClear and its respective explanations, they are infinite. Let me give you a few examples. Add the CBCT exam, for example, and explain why it is needed for the patient. So, since the CBCT is not a particular treatment and not associated with any particular tooth, we can choose the treatment type to be Other, and then we add our explanation and we save it. So for example, here I say a CBCT may be needed to study your bone anatomy. This is important, for example, before placing implants, so we know exactly how the bone is, and so we can place the implant in the exact position, making the long-term success much higher. Other example can be an aesthetic mock-up. For example, here an aesthetic mock-up is a procedure we can do so you visualize in your own mouth how the aesthetic treatment will look like before we start. We can even take pictures and videos so you can go home and think about it before you go for the treatment. So we can pretty much add your own twist and technique name for any sort of treatment and its explanation. Some users, for example, some MakeMeClear users, they like to name their own brand or technique for some specific treatments like a full arch implant rehabilitation. And now you can also do that. For example, you can say all on X, fixed teeth on the same day, This is a technique we use to replace all your teeth with dental implants and fixed teeth all on the same day. It's a very predictable and safe technique where we remove all the hopeless teeth, clean the infections, place 4 to 8 implants in each jaw, and place a fixed provisional bridge on the same day. This technique can be done in most cases even when the availability of bone is reduced. I am sure this will allow you to customize your treatment plans to the utmost detail, to your own style of words and expressions that you believe that works best for your type of practice and your patients. So I hope you'll find this useful tool and let us know your feedback. Until next time.